hello and welcome. We're still here. We're still doing things. Whose do I go into? Here? Sure. I feel like it's gonna be the same. Okay, we'll just go. We'll just go. I don't know. Final decision. It's a decision, but it was a straight line. What? What?
I knew it. Looks like the memories we regained are true after all.
The 3 wards.
Oh,
all
okay.
in the same place. Then
I know where we are. I was like, what's going on?
Carlos!
Akane, Junpei.
and Mira and Eric.
And you're Sean, right?
Carlos, what happened?
Proof of friendship.
See, no one has
Anyway.
mentioned
What are you guys doing here?
someone in a wheelchair.
According to the schedule, C team and Q team should both still be asleep.
We took a page out of your book and did what you did. We used the cards to keep the bracelet needle from injecting us.
So, does that mean?
Yeah, I remember everything.
I do too. Junpei and I as well.
Over the past few hours, we got back the memories we forgot.
Well, to be more accurate, it's more like we accessed the morphogenetic field and downloaded all of them.
Then you have the other history's memories too?
Yes.
Then you're like us.
But why?
Hold up. Eric and I are different.
Yeah. We didn't gain memories from other histories.
Then neither of you got injected?
No, we're the same as Carlos and the others.
I told them. Maybe I'll start from the beginning. First,
Is it
so
gonna
I could run
explain
the
what the
program
heck
in the force
Carlos
quit
was
box.
doing?
I
Cause
accessed the central control computer. Then, I briefly turned off the communication network. That way, I stopped the surveillance cameras from sending any data to Zero. I didn't want Zero
right.
to catch
That's
on.
kind of what I thought what was happening when it showed like the
And
static,
that's
but
when
still
Sean
the image.
let us in on the truth of what's going on here.
We went over to the transporter room and picked up 2 cards. Before the injection, we each slipped one between our wrist and bracelet.
Okay. Now you two make sense. But what about you, Sean?
Well, you probably already know, but I'm a robot. Being injected does nothing to me.
Then,
Every time the time limit approached, I was forced to go into sleep mode. Then my memories from the previous 90 minutes were deleted. I didn't want that to happen, so... You remember me saying I accessed the computer? Well, I hacked my own system too.
He said he managed to cancel the forced sleep and delete functions.
What about C-Team then?
We couldn't interrupt the surveillance cameras, so we had to be sneaky instead.
First, Carlos pushed me down and climbed on top of me.
He what?
It was just an act.
Okay.
I was only pretending to do it.
Is that why it showed them behind the
Carlos used
counter?
that moment to whisper in my ear. He said to go to the transporter room and grab the cards in there.
But if I just let her go like that, it looks suspicious. So Junpei and I stayed behind to get Zero's undivided attention. I casually invited Junpei to the power room. You can see the results of our conversation.
You should have told me what was up.
If I had, then Zero would have figured it out. You look like you'd be a crap actor.
And after that?
We met Akane in the lounge. We hid from the cameras, and each got a card from her.
Sorry, but could I get confirmation on something? Everyone knows what all happened in the other histories, right?
Even you.
The
Mira
image
and
that
Eric?
it just showed had the
Didn't
fast
Eric say so
forward symbol in
earlier?
the
Sean
second
told
with
us
the mouse over it.
But
What?
wait. Why?
Why what?
Why do we know about the other histories?
Well, that's probably...
You want to know?
Hello?
Q? Or maybe it's actually Zero.
You are free to call
I
me
mean,
by
you
my
should know
given
that.
name,
If you
which
know
is
all the other
spelled out.
histories.
There's no need to look so threatening. You were the one who named me, Diana. It doesn't matter. I shall answer your question. Carlos, Akane, Junpei, Diana, Phi, and Sigma. All 6 of you know that you are shifters, correct? Think back on your path to this very moment. Did you arrive in this history by following a normal flow of time?
No.
No, of course you didn't. You jumped in from another history using your shift abilities. And it wasn't just this once. You have been shifting back and forth many times. From one point in space-time to another. You
And that's what you
boldly took
wanted?
chances, much like jumping from one tree branch to another. You have forgotten that fact, perhaps as a result of the medicine, or as
Why do your
one of the
eyes look
side
like that,
effects of
by the way?
Regardless, your memories have been kept firmly intact within the morphogenetic field. It is simply that the 6 of you regained the memories of those times. One small trigger, and the levee preventing you from remembering collapsed. Sean is a similar case. However, his thought center is located within the quantum computer.
Which we know.
So I suppose it's slightly different from you.
What about me and Mira?
You are both like me, in that we do not have the ability to shift.
You don't?
Now, how do you know so much?
I have
Okay.
another power instead. The power to mind hack.
Mind hack?
Okay. I assume that's what was happening when people were being controlled or whatever.
I am able to read other people's minds. I know the thoughts and ideas that go through their heads. That's why I know exactly what Phi is trying to do right now. Step away from that device, Phi.
Didn't they already do that?
When we blocked the injection.
I saw through your ruse.
Then why did you...
I wanted all of you to play the final decision game.
The final decision game?
I find human decisions fascinating. More specifically, the world branching that occurs as a result. I already mentioned that I am unable to shift. But after looking inside millions of minds, I learned one thing. There are people in this world with the ability to jump between histories. That shifters exist. Hence, why I know so much about these parallel worlds.
You did all this? Because you were curious?
When a person does something significant, it's difficult to boil the reason down to one word. Their motives are often very complex. It is the same now. To fulfill several objectives, it was necessary to trap all of you in here.
So why did you do it?
You want to know?
Yes.
It is so you give birth to Phi and myself, Diana.
Exactly. Everyone here is stuck in a loop. They don't have, like...
What do you mean?
They don't actually have choices.
Phi and I are the children of Diana and Sigma.
They have to do things
Phi is-
specifically for things to happen.
Wait.
So...
They're children?
November 16th, 2029. Phi and I were born in this shelter. This was another history, of course. Shortly after, the atomic data that makes up our bodies was transported to April 1904. The transporter was located in a German research facility at that time. Our bodies reconstructed and regenerated in the export pods at that facility.
But that would mean you're actually...
I'm 124.
You're joking.
But Phi is...
A German researcher sent her to 2008. Records indicate that she was part of an experiment.
You're saying Phi jumped back in time from 2029 to the year 1904, and then forward again to 2008?
Technically,
Makes
what was
complete
sent
sense.
both times was simply the data makeup of Phi's body.
I heard that in 2008, the device was being studied in an American facility.
That's when an old couple who were researchers took me in.
We've gone off topic. But yes, that was one of the major goals. Everything that occurred here helped create Phi and myself. And when I say that, I am including all of the other histories. If I hadn't trapped the group of you here, then Phi and I would have never been born in our current forms.
Your current forms?
Sean, you should already know about epigenetics.
Huh?
You see, environmental factors determine which switches are activated within the genetic code. Reproductive cells are the same. Or perhaps I should say that the reproductive cells are the ones most affected.
Oh, I get it.
I don't.
That's why you made Diana and Sigma play the decision game.
What do you mean?
By backing them into a crisis situation, he caused an epigenetic change within their reproductive cells. I think that's why their
Right. They
children were
talked
born with
about
unique
this
powers.
before.
Gold star.
I remember.
This is the reason I have my mind-hacking abilities. Phi was affected as well. You were born a shifter. D-Team, Do you recall what was written on
Oh, I
your
thought he was
wall?
gonna like play basketball.
When a curious hate oozes calamity.
And rearranging the letters gives you...
No way. What you choose can materialize us.
Oh, our decisions will bring you to life.
That is why the decision games were held. So that the Phi and me, here and now, would materialize exactly the way we are.
No, but... Okay, so I get why you had to have Diana and Sigma go through life or death decisions. But the rest of us had nothing to do with...
I already told you. My motives are complex.
What? Wait, there's more?
Excuse me?
Goddamn old man!
Fine, no!
What?
It's over.
You may be right.
What?
Diana, take this. Put it in. Your bluebird, too.
I feel like I'm not saying a lot, but
It's ready.
mostly just absorbing what is happening.
Verified. Key items were set. Executing force quit program.
I thought they'd done that
10
already.
minutes until explosion.
Explosion? Pardon?
What?
Oh no!
The hell? What is this?
Hey, answer me! What's with that announcement?
Must I explain? This shelter will soon explode. You've worked so hard, only to turn on this facility's self-destruct mechanism.
Sean, access the central control computer.
It's no use. Once the force quit program has been activated, there is no possible way for you to reverse it.
Then what can we do?
I will tell you two good things. First, I suggest checking behind the bar counter.
Okay.
Oh, no!
Why would you?
Gab.
What?
Gab's been...
Why?
Did you kill Gab?
Yes, with the shotgun you're holding.
Why?
There wasn't much life left in him anyway.
You monster!
I never expected to hear that coming from you, Sean.
So what's the other thing? You had two things to tell us.
I have the ability to mind hack,
We already know that.
but I've not told you everything about it. Reading other people's thoughts isn't the only thing I can do with mind hacking.
Yes, I know that.
It
I've
only
seen
lasts
that.
a moment.
I don't
But
care
I am able
anymore.
to control someone's body as I wish. Like this.
Pardon?
Eric! Why?
Is it supposed to be a
for real,
connection between him
finger
and
just-
Gab?
Mind hacking.
Understand now. This is my power. So, let's begin. Your final decision game. You have two choices. one to stay here and wait to die. The other is... The other...
And then he dies and we never learn. We never know.
Hey! What's the other option? What's the other option?
Did he write it down in Yab's medical container thing? Maybe check that. I'm upset. This game sucks. They killed Gab. It's irredeemable.
Well, what should we do? What about the X door?
And how exactly should we open it? Unless 6 people die, it's gonna stay closed. Or should we start killing each other now?
Mira?
I have an idea.
Which is?
We're going to shift, all of us, together.
Hey, hold on.
To where?
Like jumping to another history?
But Eric and
I'm sure it will be fine. Remember what I said?
What?
Human consciousness may be a result of quantum effects in the brain.
Oh, yeah. You said if certain conditions are met, we can also...
What are the conditions?
First, you need to be exposed to danger. And the other one is...
To be in the vicinity of a group of shifters.
I get it.
We'll resonate, and then Mira and Eric can...
But which history are we going to jump to?
None of the similar histories will work. One team is likely to be dead after the vote.
And we can't shift if there are no bodies for us to jump to, right?
Then... we need to jump to where all of us are alive.
When we're all alive.
Do you mean...
Oh, at the coin flip? Is that why it showed that it wasn't completed?
The history, where we won the coin toss.
So none of this even happens. But that doesn't make sense.
I'm not sure I get it all, but it's a good idea?
What are you saying? There's no way we could do that.
Why not?
Shift isn't simply jumping into bodies in different histories.
Our consciousnesses swap places. Ours for theirs.
We'll be forcing our other selves into these bodies, and they'll die without knowing why.
Yeah, and what's wrong with that?
What?
Well, they're all living without a care off in another history, yeah? One time, they do the coin toss once and win? Don't you think that's unfair?
Mira, you're saying they, but we're talking about ourselves here.
Well, we should consider if those people really are us.
Good point. If we assume that we here are the true versions, then...
Yeah, I feel like some of the people here have usually been like, I don't care. It's just a different version of ourselves. It doesn't matter.
History, then we're tossing the others under the bus to save ourselves.
And yet they're arguing.
The us in that history have done nothing wrong. I mean, the only thing they did was win at a coin toss.
You could say the same for us. The only thing we did was lose a coin toss. Even so, we've had to go through so much shit. We've been forced to put our lives on the line.
Besides, aren't the bodies in the other histories ours anyway?
Then why should we second guess ourselves?
Huh.
1 minute until explosion.
We're out of time. I'll say it again. We have 2 choices. We can stay here and wait for our deaths. Or
Are we actually gonna
survive
choose?
by sacrificing our other selves in another history.
So that's what that bastard meant. The final decision game.
Did he just blink? He just blinked. Isn't he supposed to be dead? I guess we'll wait. Wait, what happens if I don't do anything? Why is there a timer? Does that count as don't shift? Did I wait too long? What's happening? What? Wait, I didn't make this choice. Huh? Oh, I don't actually know what happened there. Okay, I assume we blew up? I just got like 3 achievements at the same time. What? Final decision? Yes. Okay, I assume that waiting the timer out counts as choosing don't shift. So I'm gonna choose shift this time. Oh my gosh, this was a long sequence. Okay. I assume we go back to the coin toss, right? Yup. All right. Back to the coin toss. Or after the coin toss, I guess. Payoff 2? Nevada Desert, decom.
Damn,
12/31/28.
I can't remember anything.
Me neither.
Neither can I.
It somehow feels like I made a bet with someone, but
Man, they're gonna be so
Someone?
confused if they're being swapped.
Kind of bet.
Did we all forget what happened?
Hey, could I ask all of you something? Who is this kid?
Good morning.
Did we do it?
We're not wearing the bracelets, so I don't know the time. But
Judging by the position of the sun, it's probably noonish.
And the date?
How would I know?
Hey, Mira. Eric. Do you remember me?
Yeah.
I definitely remember you.
then we really did.
Must have worked.
Life is unfair. Don't you think?
Hello?
Gab is alive!
17 years ago, a snail traveled down a narrow path in the park. If that snail hadn't been there, perhaps all of you here would have lived a completely different life than you did. Just one small snail. and everyone's lives, even the world, changed.
So, what's the big deal?
Ugh, would you just quit talking nonsense?
Gab! I'm so glad you were safe.
Me too.
Of
I don't
course
care
we
about
were.
anyone else here.
You all have
I care about
shifted in
Gab.
from another history.
Whatever. We gotta call the cops.
And what exactly will that accomplish?
Isn't it obvious? We're throwing you in the slammer.
And
what?
my crime?
Making you flip a coin.
Murder? I see. But I haven't killed anyone. Specifically, in this history, not a single person has died. I strongly doubt the police would listen.
But in the other histories, you...
Did you not pay attention? I don't have the ability to shift. The only reason I know anything of those histories is because I mind-hacked you. In effect, the me you know is a different person than the one before you. Can I be charged for killing someone in another history? If so, then I'd say this world would be full of criminals of all kinds.
What about conspiracy to commit?
Yeah. I'm betting this history's got a bunch of dangerous machines and gimmicks all over the shelter.
Unfortunately, I have removed them all. You've slept for quite a while. Nothing is left in the shelter. No transporter, no quantum computer.
How did you move that?
Loaded into a truck and taken away. Sean is able to move right now due to radio signals received from a satellite. Why? Aren't you happy? I say again, in this history, not a single person has died. Vi and I exist, and there will never be an outbreak of Radical 6. There is only a bright future ahead for all of us. Is this not what you'd call a happy end?
To be fair, he has a point.
But according to you, all of mankind will die if time passes and nothing is done.
A religious fanatic, a terrorist attack that sparks a nuclear war.
Right, I forgot about
I
that
heard
part.
this story. You said you released Radical 6 so that you could kill that person.
The me before you did not say that, but I can't deny it's true.
Radical 6 won't spread throughout the world in this history.
That means that fanatic guy won't die.
Wait, so now humans will go extinct?
Hey, where's that happy future you mentioned?
Interesting. Does that make you angry, Vi?
What?
If so, then we have a serious contradiction. I had prepared a future in another history where 2 billion would survive. But yet, you decided to jump to this history. That means you chose a future where humanity goes extinct, over 6 billion dead.
But was that known? I mean, I guess it was.
No, you're wrong, Delta. Nothing in the future has been determined yet. We'll shape the future with our own hands.
Huh. You said something I can get behind, Carlos.
I think so too.
I agree.
Okay, me too.
Mira.
Okay.
You're right. The future has infinite possibilities.
If we work together, we can accomplish anything.
Humanity's gonna die out? Screw that.
We'll definitely change that horrible future.
What's so funny?
Just that.
What the hell do you mean?
I'm sure I told you in another history that my motives
I'm
are
assuming that
complex.
he was wanting that to happen.
Imagine, what if none of you had experienced the events that occurred in the shelter? You're so determined now to change the future. One of the goals of all of this was to get you into that frame of mind. It's all going according to plan, without a single casualty. I created a future where mankind will be saved. Does that upset you? Are you angry that your life was played with? Very well. I will give all of you one last choice.
All right.
With that gun there, you will be able to choose whether to kill me now or allow me to leave. I promise I won't use mind hacking on you. You are free to decide. Which shall it be? Pull the trigger or let me go. The fates
Why
of
is
you,
this the-
me, and mankind are all
Are
on the
you the
line.
religious? I guess you are the religious fanatic.
This is the
right?
decision
Is
guild.
is that what this is saying? I'm confused. Do I choose, or is it just gonna? Hello? Is that it? Hello? What? What? Is there anything? Is this non-skippable credits? Non-skippable credits. That I'm assuming means it is the end. What? I don't even know how I feel about that right now. Let me think for a second. How long are these credits? I'll let the credits go by and I'll see if anything else happens and then we'll talk. Okay. Let's just take a double checky look. That looks like everything. That looks like everything. Okay. I guess that means that that was it. This is definitely something that I'm that I'm gonna need to sit and like ruminate on for a little bit. I don't know if that's the right word, but I really need to like sit and think about this. There are some things that I'm not as clear on. One of the things that bothers me, and this this is probably just dumb. Carlos's sister never mattered. And that bothers me. So like, why was was that a thing? And why did they have to make it so that it was similar to what Sean was remembering? Like, that doesn't quite make sense. I also just now realized why it didn't show Q in the portrait section. Like, within the place where you could check people's statuses, it never showed Q's portrait, and I'm assuming that's supposed to be because Q is actually supposed to be representative of Delta, which is the other thing that I don't quite understand. So Delta said that Carlos killed him in a different, like, history or whatever. And I am assuming that that refers to, like, the literal ending we just saw where he held a gun to him, but that's so confused. Does that mean that, like, if he is shot, then he isn't there, but if he is not shot, then he is supposed to be there? In which case, I would be interested to go back and see if there was actually anything that indicated that someone else was there, because there wasn't a whole lot. I know that it showed that one line that Eric said. I don't quite remember that being said, so I don't know if it was actually said. If it was, I wonder if I commented on it, being confused, because I feel like I would have. I feel like, like I said, I'm really gonna need to, like, sit on this and think about it. Did I like it? It's a little bit tough because, like I brought up multiple times, the way that this story is kind of written, everyone is kind of stuck within a singular, like, loop. And obviously they have ways of, like, kind of writing that out and having characters branch to do different things in, like, how this game ended, in that they still experienced that, but they didn't actually experience all of that. So I like how that is set up, like how things kind of connect together. In that there's, like, I don't know how to describe this properly, but Delta had, like, a specific plan in mind for getting everything to work out in an exact and very specific way. I do enjoy that. Was there anything else that I was, like, confused on? I will say that my initial reaction is that I don't hate this game. I know that there are people who do not like this game and feel that it's, I would assume feel that it's, like, a weak ending to this series. Do I agree with that? The thing is that I'm not sure how you end this series. I'm not really sure how you would do that well. I feel like how they kind of wrapped it into a neat little bow where things all kind of loop back around to everyone, like, having experienced things, all these different negative histories to come to, like, this, to go all the way back but still have those memories and, like, be fighting for good or whatever they're doing now. I think that's very much, like, suitable to this series. There's a lot to think about with this one, I think. And I think that's what makes me enjoy it a little bit more, is that there's things to think about. I don't think I'm happy with how they handled, like, Delta supposedly being there and being, like, Q on Q team. I'm gonna have to actually look back at that and see, you know, how well they did that. I'll have to, like, look at the wording and how characters acted and stuff like that. My initial gut instinct is that I don't think that they did it well, but sometimes my gut instinct is wrong too. So who knows, right? In terms of, like, setting and characters and stuff like that, I enjoyed... Was there any characters... I don't know if there was really any characters that I disliked. I feel like Carlos was the one that was, like, the least interesting to me. He was just kind of bland. Like I said, like, his sister that I thought would be relevant to the plot wasn't at all. So, like, nothing that he talked about was really relevant to anything. He was just kind of there as a character. Like, at least you have the other characters where, like, obviously Akane and Junpei, they have relevance because, you know, they're key characters in the series. They have a lot that is going on and a lot that's happened. Eric and Mira, while they're less, like, they feel less relevant to, like, the overarching story within this series, they still at least had, you know, interesting facets to them, which I think is good. Q, or Sean or whatever, I think was an interesting character as well. Like, Phi and Sigma, obviously, they have things going on. I didn't get the, like, I guess, redemption arc for Phi that would have made me like her more, unfortunately. But, you know, you can't win them all. Diana, I really enjoyed as a character. I liked the whole story of, like, her and Sigma getting together and, like, having children and stuff like that. I thought that was pretty interesting. And I think that, like, how Zero's set up is interesting as well. I don't know if I would label it as the most interesting, like, Zero thing. I think they all are interesting in their own ways. But I don't really know that much about the character. It was interesting because this is the first time that there's been a Zero that is different, not someone within the, you know, what is taking place, like, the games. Like, in the first one, it was Akane, and the second one, it's Sigma, right, who's, like, set it up. In this one, it's kind of a character that is outside of the main cast of characters, which is pretty different. I like that they kind of switched it up like that, where, and it wasn't completely detached where it was just some random character that comes in. There was, like, some connection to other characters at least, so I think that was good. I don't know, what else did I mention? The setting, I think, was fine. I think it's interesting how they had the twist where they were all within the same quote-unquote ward. I think that's pretty neat. I like how they did that. I feel like they have a twist with where people are in each of the games, right? Like with 999, it was being on like the replica of the Titanic or whatever, and actually it's in the desert or whatever. It's been so long. And then with VLR, it was that they're on the moon. So it kind of, the series follows like kind of formulaic path. It has certain things that it carries over to the different games. And while the way that this game was set up confused me at the start, I do in the end like how it's set up with the different like kind of fragments and stuff. It just takes a long time to get used to. I kind of think maybe there was a different way for them to handle that without it being as confusing. But it really does set you up for what this game is in being so confusing. But yeah, I don't know what else I really have to say about this. I am going to have to think about it, and I did not expect to finish this in this recording right now, so I wasn't really prepped to talk this much about it. I thought there'd be a little bit more. What I would like to do, and I haven't quite decided on how exactly I'm going to do this, I would like to have, it's either going to be in the form of a video or a live stream where I will have a discussion about my thoughts in more detail about the different games in this series and like how I feel about them individually, how I feel about them together. So I'll have some time to like think about that, compile my thoughts, and either have a video about that or a live stream where we can kind of like discuss things together. So yeah, that should be interesting. I will sit and think about different parts of this game, and there will be something that comes of it in the form of like a kind of final thoughts section. Either I will do it individually if I find that there really isn't as much that I needed to cover, or it'll be more closed-ended opinions and stuff, then it'll probably be a video. If I find that it's something that will be better to like discuss with you guys, which I'm kind of leaning more towards. I really like having discussions and hearing other people's thoughts and opinions, and I think it could be fun if we got together and kind of shared our thoughts and bounced ideas off of each other about this series and how we feel about it and the different characters and like how the games each held up. But yeah, so I would expect, I kind of did like a bulk recording session, so I'll be ahead of myself with where I'm speaking in time right now. But I would expect something like that to be happening the following week whenever you're watching this. Or if something comes up, it'd be the week after that, but most likely the following week. If it's a live stream, it'd probably be on like a Saturday. And if it's a video, it'd probably come out on the Friday as usual. Yeah. And I want to thank you all so much for coming with me on this journey throughout these games. It has been more fun than I would have expected to, you know, record this series and share the experience with you guys. Whether you're people who have played these games and you're just coming in for a fresh perspective, or you're someone who has never played these games and you're experiencing this for the first time with me, it has been so fun to go through this and like read your guys' comments and have little mini discussions with you guys. It has been so good, and I hope that you have thoroughly enjoyed this series, and I hope that you will be around for the other things that I venture into. This is not the only series that I plan on doing. I do plan on doing more. Most likely, the next game that I will be playing will be more of like a kind of palate cleanser. Not really palate cleanser, but like a different sort of game than like a puzzle focused game. I'm thinking it is anyways. I have my eyes on Omori, which should be an interesting time. It is a very different game than what these games are. Well, very different. It is different. And I've never played that game either, so it'll be like a first time look at things. And I have other series in the future planned as well, which are kind of more in line with this. Yeah. I mean, again, thank you guys so much. And if you are watching this and you haven't already, you know, feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more of what I have coming up in the future. And if you were just here for this series, thank you so much as well, because it has still been a good time, even if you're only here for this one journey that we've been on. I don't know what else to say. So yeah, keep an eye out for whatever is happening next. I will get out the information of what is happening in some way, shape, or form, for if there's going to be like a video or a live stream for this. You'll find out in some way. So yeah, this has been it. This is so weird. This series has been so long, but it's over. And I guess I will see you guys in whatever next thing we do next. Probably Omori, but we will see. Take care, everybody, and I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.